And welcome to Will It Fun Dust Devils Edition. Hello!
Hello, everyone.
We're going to introduce everybody and then we will get right into it. Let's start with you, sir. Welcome to the table.
Like, I am the nastiest of Pats, Pat Nasty, a.k.a. Deadpool 7.
All right, we're glad to have you with us.
Thank you for the welcome.
And we know you, I believe.
It's half my show.
Yeah.
Like Sara from Thornhill Gaming. I think that camera is the one that's on me.
That's
cool. Hi, camera.
And I am Gabriel Hurley. It's 1/3 my show, but my name's not on it, so.
I'm important too, guys. We actually could not do the show without you. So, do you think I know how to set all this shit up?
You were the most important team player. You're MVP.
Back to you, Pat.
So we are doing Dust Devils. Dust Devils is a game that was released in 2002, won a couple of awards, and has been this quiet presence. And it is one of the few Western-specific themed RPGs that I personally have experienced. And admittedly, my experience is not total in nature. But
that's why we have this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we do this.
But I have played it and I really enjoyed it, and it's stuck in my head for like a decade before we even started this. So I wanted to share it with you all. So there's something that we will be using, and this is a tool that that I designed with Gabriel's help, and my wife did the art for. But this is a playing card. Your character sheet can fit on a playing card, and it is a beautiful, simple game. There are no dice. We play with decks of cards and poker chips. So you don't even, like, most people will have something like this around their house. So if you've got a poker deck and you've got some pennies or honestly any kind of token, you can play this game. It's super fun and we're going to dive into it. So we're doing the character creation portion of this first, and then we'll dive into the actual play. So we've talked about this a little bit off camera, but each of you will have a couple of things that define your character, and stats is something you choose. Well, all things are things you choose. There's no rolling. I'll start over.
So choosy.
I know.
Choosing. choosing.
So there's no rolling. None of this is random, as opposed to a lot of other systems where they're like, okay, well, what's your strength? I'm going to roll 2d6 or whatever. It's like you will fully build your character. So your character is made up of your name, which is arguably the least important. You don't even need one. There are 2 traits, and these are usually in like the form of a simile, like I'm strong as a bear and smart as a fox, that kind of thing. Or man-killer, or man-eater, lady-killer, that's a non-simile version of that trait. So 2 things that describe your character.
Our brains were doing the exact same thing.
Like if I'm a bear hunter.
Yeah.
But I don't hunt bears? Like, wait.
Literally in the same place with you. We went the same direction.
It's just like
the same road.
So those are called traits.
I don't actually want to kill ladies. I just like to be handsome. Like,
handsome as the devil.
It's just like, oh, damn it. Like what's the third girl this week? Like, shit.
They keep dying.
Actually, I'm kind of with that. Like,
It was a long winter.
she was nice and warm. That cave was nice and cozy for both of us.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm dying. Oh Lord. Oh my god, I'm dying.
It's spring already. I don't even want to leave.
All right.
Come back to me. All right, so your 2 traits. Everybody has 2 traits. And the easiest way to think of them is if somebody else was describing you, what would they say? There.
Well, I mean, everyone else is haters, so it's not going to come out anything good. Just going to talk trash and be mean to me. Like,
well, and that might be the case for your traits. Maybe you're generally known as an awful
I'm sure.
Well, they're entirely your fault. So it's all up to you to decide how terrible you are as a person. All the blame and all the rewards. So you've got your name, you've got your traits. You have your past and your present, and these 2 things are linked. So I was blank and I am blank. Everybody has what they used to be and what they are. It's a very rare circumstance where somebody has the same thing in both their past and their present. Like, I have always been a gunfighter. Cool. Well, that's the only thing you ever have been. Great. But that is a rarity. So most people have what they used to be and what they are. Life changes.
Don't apologize. You're allowed to make fun of him.
Yeah.
I was just making fun of the example. It's like, that's all you doing with your life, bro? Like,
just gunslinging. Out of the womb.
It just came out. Like, this is all I've known. Like, bro, read a book. Just step up. Just step your shit up just a little bit, bro.
I am a gunslinger.
Please do something else.
I used to be a baby.
Like, I was a baby once.
Professionally?
Yes, professional baby. And then the stats we'll get into, and the last major component, and this is arguably the major-est component of your character, is your devil. Your devil is one thing, and it never changes. It only grows or shrinks in
Devilishness?
in devilishness. I like that, yeah.
Or were you looking for like intensity?
Intensity is where I was going, but devilishness is actually better. So it is a thing that your character struggles with on a daily basis. So the whole thing about Westerns is like, everybody's kind of painted in a very extreme way. So these characters, like, sure, they can have like nuance to them, but we want to know who they are. We want to feel what they're feeling, and we want to have a very clear picture of who these people are, like right off the bat. So this is what we've got. We'll go to stats last, but first let's figure out who these characters are. So we talked a little bit offline, and we all I like to start with what I am and who I was, or what I am and what I was, just because that's kind of like an easy way to guide the rest of it. So let's start with you, Gabriel, and then we can work our way around the table.
Sure. Don't have a name yet.
Don't need one yet.
But I am the sort of middle management. I am the fixer who's been running things for the mining company in town, making sure that the operation keeps running.
All right. Oh, and since you brought up the town, this story is set in Carter, Colorado. And if you haven't seen our Kids on Bikes episode, that takes place in about a century from now.
And if you watch this right after it comes out and you haven't seen that episode, it's because we haven't released it yet.
That's correct. So
we're working on it. It might be out already.
Check it out if you haven't. Anyway. Yeah, century in the future. So we are now in the ye old west in Carter, Colorado, an alpine mining town in mountainous area, like several thousand feet above sea level, and it is isolated. It is new. So this is a town that is getting its roots. The year is 1881, and you being the fixer for this town is a pretty important thing because it's small enough that not everybody has these specialties that every town kind of naturally develops. So you're just like the guy that goes in and is like, got a problem? I'll solve it.
I hadn't really talked to you about what I was.
Yeah, I would love to know.
Now I'm feeling like, do you also want to tell us what time period we're in?
1881. So it's about 15 years after the Civil War. So everything now is in like the development. We are expanding into the West. We haven't fully occupied all of the area in the continental United States that is available, but people are starting to sort of flesh out the center areas. They're starting to solidify the roads and create new towns. So not everything is where it lands eventually in our current now time. It's still a budding flower.
Gotcha. So I was thinking for my what I used to be that I would maybe have come from that sort of Civil War background. Maybe I was sort of captain at a fort, something like that. Somebody who's used to a little discipline, a little regiment.
Gotcha. So, so almost in the operational sense of the war, as opposed to like frontline kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that. So yeah, come up with a very succinct way to state that, just so we can not have our mouth full of a bunch of words.
Yeah.
But yeah, easy enough. I love that. So, Sarah, what have you been thinking about?
I think I'm just transporting goods.
Yeah.
And I used to steal stuff from transports. And I got busted. The rest of my people got away.
All right.
So now I'm stuck working off my debt.
Oh my God, I love this. Okay, so you were a professional thief.
Oh, yeah.
This is fantastic.
Nice.
And you are like a stagecoach driver?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Is a stagecoach driver. That's super fun. Okay, so do you think that you were you in the local area where so were you in Colorado for the prior stuff, or
I think at this point I've kind of been a lot of places.
That's fair. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so do you have a reputation in Colorado?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Cool.
Other places, maybe.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Okay, so Patrick, you told me a little bit about it, but
Pat Nasty.
Pat Nasty,
The nastiest
of Pats.
It's like, well, so I actually do have a name for mine because in honor of my grandfather. So it's Wild Horse Willie.
Nice.
Awesome.
Former military cavalryman, rifleman, but now, after seeing the atrocities of war, hired gun mercenary.
Yeah,
It's like, and then just,
you're working on some stuff.
just
Yeah,
mentally trying to.
it's like you're still using the skills you developed, and
but I really don't want to be that way.
But I'm really good at it.
So, and I think this will be the best play style for me because it's really kind of like the life I live now. So it's perfect.
all right, okay,
So former military, hired gun, merc.
I love it.
Go where the money is.
So it sounds like you've got a sense of maybe what your devil might be.
It could be anything though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get there. All right. So Gabriel, have you come up with a nice way to state that?
Used to be a Civil War officer, now is a company fixer.
All right. Civil War officer. And you're a company fixer. Love it.
Union side, obviously.
I mean, it's not obvious. Everybody's a melting pot here.
That's fair.
And I guess that is actually something to cover in terms of the kind of game that we are playing.
Subtle. It was subtle. I know.
Just leaned over.
Hey, no one noticed. It's fine. Everything's good.
I also like that you did that right in the middle of the talk, so we totally can't edit that out.
Whoops.
So in terms of like the faithfulness to the Western experience, we are experiencing a Western story where anybody can have any part they want. Like, we're not dealing with the racist garbage that existed in the entire time period. We're acknowledging that the Union War, or the Civil War, oh my God.
That the Union won the Civil
That the
War.
Union won the Civil War.
Yeah.
There we go. And there was a Confederacy, but there might be...
Yeah, but we don't talk about those guys.
Well, but there might actually be... The doctor in town was a Confederate medic.
Oh.
Yeah, but...
He'll be the
That's
first one on my
okay
list.
because doesn't give a shit about like the actual things that the Civil War in our reality was about. So it was like, we can all be friends now because the conflict's over.
Long story short, kids, you don't have to use racism in your game.
Yeah.
It's lazy.
Yeah. We're all here to have a fun time. Okay. So that said, so we've got a past and present for Gabriel. We've got a past and present for Sarah. We've got a past and present for Pat Nasty. And now we can talk about, well, traits seems like the obvious thing. So if somebody else was to describe you in just a couple of statements.
So I didn't go that far. I did not pick out any traits.
Oh, you didn't have to. Here we are doing it now.
Okay.
We'll do it together. I didn't pick out any either.
Oh my God, we are a team.
Yay! So, Gabriel, do you have any thoughts about that?
I haven't quite gotten into the nice, like, succinct, like you do on your playing cards for your NPCs, but, I mean, something like, I want to be, like, really keen-eyed, somebody who, like, really sees everything, like, keen-eyed like a hawk, you know,
Yeah.
Damn it,
something like that.
Like eyes like a hawk sounds.
But it's not like the sharpshooter kind of thing. It's more that like,
Okay,
I'm just
'cause,
very, like I got my eye on everything.
Okay, because that's yeah, the
And
sharpshooter
you
thing.
could
was
say
gonna be my
that.
thing.
Like I've got my eye on everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eyes on everything, and then something to go with it. But like I want to kind of bring in. Well, here's a question: should the traits relate to the devil at all?
They can,
they
but they
not?
shouldn't necessarily. So let me tell you mechanically what traits do and what devils do, and also what is and was. So the past and the present, since this is all a card game, these affect the hand that you are dealt.
Okay.
So when a hand is dealt, you're dealt. You take the two stats that you're going to find most appropriate, and then you will be dealt that many cards. If you have a trait that is relevant, you can say, I'm going to use this trait, and then I will deal you another card. And if your devil is relevant, then I will deal you the value of that devil, how intense the devil is for you. And that devil, the number of that will be intensity 1, 2, or 3. So don't worry about numbers right there. Just pointing that out. So your two stats plus a trait plus your devil. Then, when you've got your whole hand, if your past or your present are relevant, you can draw on your experience and draw the cards relevant to your past or your present. So once we have all the stats, once we have all the details of your cards, we're going to assign a couple of numbers to them, like your past and your present will add up to 4. So it's either 1 and 3, 3 and 1, or 2 and 2. Don't worry about that right at the moment. We'll figure that out.
And my brain is melting out.
Right, exactly. That's it's like we're only going to deal with like concepts
Like
right
this
now.
liquid from my ear.
Yeah. What is that? What is that?
All I caught is that like if our shit's applicable, we get more cards.
That's,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
Do that.
Yeah.
I love that simplicity.
I think I got my traits for you here.
Okay, bring it on.
Eyes on everything, focused on what's in front.
Okay, eyes on everything, and focused on what's in front.
I'm the kind of guy who just looks at a problem and says, this is what I'm going to fix. I'm going to do this one thing. We're going to get it done. We're going to get to the next thing after that.
Okay.
I see it all, but one problem at a time.
Okay, fantastic. And this could be a trait like your awareness you're dealing with, or even like legitimately your vision that you're dealing with, or part of your personality. It doesn't have to be physical in nature. It can be more conceptual in nature. It can be part of who you are as a person as opposed to as a body or as a mind. So, Sarah, Pat Nasty, talk to me.
So, one trait, it will be sharpshooter. Like, gotta have great shooting skills if I'm gonna be a mercenary. But the other thing is like past trauma. So like PTSD. Like I drink to like try to subside like all the killings and all the things that I've done, like the war atrocities and things like that.
Gotcha.
So.
Eyes like a hawk, drinks like a fish.
Yep. Like you got it.
Okay, so we've got sharpshooter or eyes like a hawk, something in there. Which feels more right to you?
It's like I like the eyes like a hawk. Like
Right.
it fits the narrative better. Like so, eyes like a hawk, but also like drunk most of the time, but can still shoot.
A
So you
functional
can-
drunk.
You
Yeah.
could use your devil as drunk. Like
It's like
Alcoholism.
alcohol, yeah. Like drunk is a totally valid devil.
I also like as a trait, it's like you're just straight drunken master with a gun.
Yeah, right.
and that's actually what I'm going for. It's like, oh yeah, like no, like he's drunk, like you. Either way, you don't want to fight. Like, even when he's drunk, like he'll curve a bullet somehow and you'll still get hit. It's just like
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say either way, you could definitely do a trait. You could also do a devil, which feels right. Like, how would people describe you as like, oh, he's drinks like a fish?
yeah, town drunk, but great shot.
Pretty good. Town drunk, great shot. I like it. That's real simple.
Yeah.
So Is it great shot or is it eyes like a hawk?
Well, because eyes like a hog actually would cover.
I mean, eyes like a hawk, drinks like a fish. That's a nice sort of.
Well, let's use that one.
Yeah, done. Okay.
Let's use that one. I like that.
Sold.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Like, that's perfect, actually, because that covers all the bases.
Yeah. Sarah.
I have no idea. I just know she's probably angry.
Okay, so would
She's
your
probably unpleasant.
okay, so then a trait for unpleasant.
I don't have that one on the top of my head, but like we've got a couple of eyes on here. You could, if you were formerly like a thief, you could be like eyes on the money, eyes on the prize, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Or
yeah.
or
And then-
could be hands like a snake. Like you just
Ooh.
grab stuff off the shelf.
Kind of like that.
right.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, what kind of pilfering did you do?
Oh, I was holding up stagecoaches. I was
Oh,
holding
all
up
right.
transport coaches. I had a whole team. They all scattered more effectively than I did.
I hate it when they do that.
And
know.
now I'm working it off.
Dust.
So I'm angry.
Okay, so it could also be it could also be something of your capability, like rise like the devil. Or hands like a snake could also be your drawing speed. Things that helped you in your trade before.
I'm going to say fast hands.
Fast hands.
Fast
All
hands.
right, I like fast hands. So, in
Fast
terms of
hands, loose morals.
There you go. Wait, that's me. No, wrong thing. Wrong game.
So we got some fast hands. In terms of like other things, like your personality you mentioned, do you want to focus on your personality being like that sort of unlikable core to your person?
Yeah, I don't know. What's my other trait? I need another trait. What's another?
I'm going to hand you this little deck of cards. And
Oh.
Go ahead and take a peek at those. Thank you. Reach across the table.
It's like everyone would.
You mean are you not going to drop him so I can have another like Sam Riegel interrupt the stream moment?
If you're watching, hi Sam.
Yeah, he's not watching. But if you are, hi.
Like those T-Rex arms.
Should start taping things to the bottom of my coffee mug in honor of him.
There you go.
Like, you see it?
So while she's taking a look at these pre-made cards, do you two
She's
have
gonna give her a hand up though. Like,
do you two have a sense of what your devil might be?
like, like in my head canon, like yes,
Yeah.
it's like, but I actually have no idea what my devil might be. But in my head canon, like I am kind of drawing like one, and it's just like because like with my traits, I'm like, okay, like the only devil that would actually fit me well enough would be, of course, it's like since I have the mental damage of war and everything like that, it's like I'm pretty sure I probably have anger issues or something. So it's just like, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm a great shot, I'm a drunkie, but at the same time I'm mad at myself and I'm mad at the whole world
Yeah.
for what I had to go through and like everything that I've done. So it's just like, yeah, it's probably anger,
rage,
yeah,
something
like
it's
that,
just
yeah.
like, and probably have a weird drunken like, oh my god, like, and it's just like, God forbid, but I'm still trying to be, you know, my character of course is still going to try to be like a righteous and good person, but
Yeah. I mean, and that's the
but-
constant struggle. It's like
Yeah.
you've got this devil that
like, but this rage is, it's like just
Yeah.
on my shoulder, like, hey, hey, like, you don't like that guy over there.
you know would be awesome.
He cheated in cards.
Punching.
Like, you should probably punch him in his face. Like, yeah, go do that.
So we're going with rage. Rage it is.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, it's
Devil's rage.
like,
Okay.
For me, I want to go something like heartlessness, like just that at the end of the day, I don't actually care about people.
Gotcha. So
Ooh.
heartless is or calculating,
Not
cold-hearted?
calculating. It really comes down to like I don't even entirely see other people as people.
He's a machine.
Yeah. Sort of the same idea of like the horrors of war that like just repress any notion that you're people that I have any affection for, any attachment to. No, you're just people who
Cogs.
do a thing.
Like you're cogs in a wheel.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, if something happens to you, we can replace you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So like heartless is the best word I can come up with for it.
I think that works just fine.
Okay.
Heartless. Sarah.
I still don't know. I'm the kid who didn't do the homework.
Well, let's figure out what makes sense in sort of this picture that you're painting. Let's actually skip ahead. Devil, like, does that inspire you at all?
I think she's probably rash.
Rash?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like impulsive
Like
or
very impulsive.
Impulsive, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good word. Rash, I'm just like, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm like, her devil is that rash.
No, she definitely will.
There, like, you have any powder? Powder? Like,
Different character. No, I think yeah, she probably it's probably she got busted. She's bit off a little more than she could chew. And
Yeah.
Didn't think it all the way through. I was like, no, we got this.
It'll be
We
great.
got
Oh,
this.
fuck.
Damn it.
Seems great.
All right, impulsive it is. Okay, so we've got a professional thief who got caught and is sort of being roped into this stagecoach, this hauler life to work off their debt. And they've got this impulsive nature to them. Now that we have this a little more edge to that individual, like how would we talk about that person?
I keep falling back to unpleasant, just generally unpleasant demeanor.
All right, so we like
Yeah.
mean as a snake,
Yeah, it's surly.
surly.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like surly.
Like, I don't mean any offense. She's a cunt.
Yeah, no, it's legit.
I was thinking like
legit.
is a cactus.
Yeah, I like that.
I like
it.
There you
I
go.
like
She's
it.
a great thief, but
I like it. I like it.
As a cactus.
cuddly as a
Cuddly
cactus.
as a
That is
cactus.
dope.
Fast hands.
Like-
Cuddly as a cactus.
There you go.
That's a good one, G. I like that.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Excellent. So we have our traits, we have our past and present, we have our devils. Let's start to talk about stats. So there are 4 stats. Each of them is linked to one of the suits of cards in a standard poker deck. There's spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. Spades equals hands, and that's anything done with the hands or body. That's just your physical competence, your comfort with your own physical being. How quick you draw is going to be here. Heart is social competence, heroic and villainous nature. It's effectively charisma, like how.
No.
I'm not sure any of us have that.
Like, I'm
may not.
I'm
You
a
may
drunk,
not.
man. Like, charisma. Bro.
And it may not even be like I have the charisma of like gaining people's trust or convincing them to do something. It could be like telling them to do it and they will do it because they are afraid. So it's not necessarily like I'm charismatic,
It's
but
like
it's
in
like I'm
D&D where
charismatic.
it's like in D&D where like intimidation is also a charisma stat.
Exactly. So charisma is not necessarily nice and happy and convincing. It's like it is the force of your character.
So I can just be a straight gangster.
That is accurate.
Like, you're gonna do it because I'm telling you to do it.
Damn, why don't we get that character? We'll get you back to like lazy darker.
Yes.
It's like,
So diamonds is I. It's senses and intellect. So if you're like trying to track a character or a person, let's run through the woods. Like, okay, I'm going to use my eye skill. If you're doing a long shot, like
poop
shooting
fresh.
somebody from a mile away. Yep.
it's only been an hour or so. There's this one.
100%.
Like, did you just? Did you just eat shit? Like,
A little bit.
A little bit.
like, you know what? Like, I'll leave the track. Like, just let me know when you find it.
I won't ask questions.
I'll just follow along. It's like you do your thing.
I'm going back to town. I don't want anything to deal with this.
Guts is clubs, and that is defined as vigor, health, courage, and cools. I also like to state tactical stupidity lands in here, where you're like, this is not going to work, but I'm going to make it work. So you could say
Got a
like,
bad feeling about this.
yep, I've got guts, or I am tough.
Just gonna tough it out. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And so
You've been shot in the belly 6 times. Like, just gonna tough it out. Like, it's all right. Like,
Tis merely a flesh wound.
like I'm gonna let you know you have lead poisoning.
I'll just walk that off.
boy, am alive.
It's okay. Like, all right, Jason Statham. Like,
I know I got hit by a car, but I got to go run a marathon. Be right back.
oh, you're Vin Diesel now. Like, all right.
So you've got these 4 stats. You have 13 points to assign however you'd like.
Okay.
They can be
That's an
up to
unlucky number.
5. So you may not have a stat that's higher than 5. You can't have a stat that's lower than 1. So somewhere in there, make it all up. Min-maxing is kind of a great way to approach this, at least the beginning. If you like I'm 3 across the board and then one of them's 4, that would also work. But yeah,
You recommend going like 5 in something and like 1 in something and balance the other 2 out. Kind of?
generally speaking, that is often more helpful in the game, like because you will be drawing from 2 skills, or you'll be drawing from 2 stats, and then you'll get a hand that starts with that many cards. So if you assume like, all right, I'm going to need to use these, it'll also kind of lean you in a direction of how your character approaches problems. I'll tell you, when you have a challenge, when you've got a hand, and if you lose, then your stats will be reduced. If you are forced to, in a challenge, use a stat that has been zeroed out, that will be your last hand, and your character will end the story there. So just be advised, a 1 stat can be very dangerous unless you find a way to cleverly avoid it.
How would we best divide up stats for somebody like mine? Like, what would you do for that?
Fast hands seems like you probably have some reasonably high spades. I don't know how smart your character is if they're impulsive. Those aren't necessarily opposites. If you're mean as a cactus, yeah, I think or cuddly as a cactus, I think probably your charisma might be on the lower side.
Real low in the hearts category?
Possibly, yeah. Like that's an easy call.
Yeah.
If you're gutsy, like if you took on a stagecoach by yourself and that's how you got caught, like your guts might be pretty high.
Yeah, so we probably like high in hands and guts and then low in the others.
I think that's a
Or
reasonable
like
call.
middling and yeah.
So if we say like, I'm just going to throw out some
Oh
numbers.
yeah. No. Lay it on me. Lay it on me. I'm asking for help. You're not mansplaining if I'm asking you.
Fair enough. Thank you. So if you do 4 in each of those, that's 8 altogether. So you've got 5, which is 2 and 3 in the other stats.
So like you'd go like 4 in hand and 4 in guts, and then
Whichever you think, are you more wily, smart, perceptive, or are you more like, I am a willful character that gets people's attention in hearts?
What do you think?
Well,
Yeah.
explain the heart.
Sure. Like hearts is if you're trying to convince people to do something. That's the easiest way to say like, this is something that will probably come up, is you're trying to get somebody to tell you information, or you're trying to get somebody to believe you when you are clearly lying.
Okay.
Yeah. So
For me, like if I'm giving orders, like I need people to follow my orders, not question my authority.
right, exactly.
Okay.
So
I'm going
if
to
you're
go
just
with
like-
I've got to be like middling in that.
Okay.
I'm unpleasant, but I did run with the crew, so I'm at least tolerable.
Fair enough.
For skill, if not personality.
So then you'd be 3 in hearts and 2 in diamonds?
So I do like four or 5 in a hand. What would you do? You just 4 in hand.
I mean, do you want to be great
Yeah.
at it or good at it?
Probably be pretty good at it.
Okay, so I think then 4 is good.
Yeah.
4 is above average.
Yeah.
5 is, oh damn. 3 is right down the middle, and then 2 is like, they're not that great.
Yeah, so I'm going 2 in hands, 3 in eyes, intellect, 4 in guts, and 4 in heart.
Okay, 4 in heart, 4 in guts, 2 in hand,
2 in hand, 3 in eye.
3 in eye. Great. Okay, so does that kind of help you?
Well, I'm just trying to decide. I'm like, okay, no, I'm probably pretty good at it, but obviously not the best because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been caught. And then I'm trying to decide if guts should be like way fucking out there or little drawn back. And then yeah, probably a 2 in the heart
2 in the heart.
because
Well, I mean, you can also just
Cactus.
allocate the couple you care about and put the
Yeah.
rest into the last one.
Yeah. Like, yeah, find the things that really resonate with you, and then the rest just dump stats.
So I'm gonna do 4 in hand, 5 in eyes,
Ooh.
2 in guts, 2 in heart.
Yep, that is 13.
Got a pretty good split here then.
Yeah.
We've all got spikes in different ones.
Well, it's
I'm-
because, like, I mean, I have the eyes
Yeah.
of a hawk, so it's,
Yeah.
like I gotta be able to
Yeah.
see, like, sniper, all that
Absolutely.
mess. Like,
now I'm thinking I should go 5 in hand or no, I should go 4. I'm gonna go 4. I'm pretty good. I'm gonna go way out
Is it-
there on guts.
Nice.
because
And I'm gonna go-
you know,
Keep the other two.
Keep the other 2
Yeah.
low.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've
All right.
got 4 in spades.
Should it be 1 in heart? no, it's
like, no.
2. Okay. All right.
So it's 4 in spades,
like
2
you
in
think you're
hearts.
unlikable, but you're actually likable.
You're actually kind of like, it's that surly friend that everybody's like, oh, she's fine.
fine. Like, you just got to get to know her a little bit. I mean, she might headbutt you, but
Accurate.
that actually means she likes you. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if she doesn't shoot you first.
Yeah. If she doesn't shoot you, you're good.
Good luck on that.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 in eye and then 5 in guts.
Yeah, I went 4 hands, 2 eye, 5 gut, 2 heart,
Baller. All right. Very cool.
which would explain why she was caught. I'm betting there was like a second coach or something behind with more guns, and that's why she got caught.
Yes, I
Didn't see that one.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
So now we are going to assign a couple of numbers to your past and your present and your devil. We're going to do devil last just because to me that's the most interesting. So you have, for your past and your present, you have 4 points to allocate between the two. The easiest way to think of it is how long have I been doing these things? So if for Sarah, for yours, if you were a professional thief for a long, long time and you've just started your stagecoach driver career, then you'd probably be 3 in professional thief and 1 in stagecoach
That's
driver.
exactly what I'm doing.
There it is.
I'm going with a similar breakdown. 3 in my current, 1 my used to be.
Okay. Okay. So you have been a company fixer for a good while, and then you were a Civil War officer back in the day.
Yeah, I bailed pretty quick after the war.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna actually do the same thing because it actually does fit my character that way. Be like that the short period of time I was in the military, the atrocities I saw or whatever,
Yeah.
like just
That settled in and you were out.
Like I'm just like I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
That's fair. Okay, so now the very last thing, other than your names, which, whatever, is how strong is your devil in your daily life? You get to pick 1 or 2 or 3. And I will tell you right now, so as you're drawing your hands, if you say that my devil is helping me here, then you will get that many more cards, either 1 or 2 or 3. So if you feel like that's really coming to play every day, every moment, you're going to do a 3. I will warn you right now that I will fuck with you if you have a 3 because it is there all the time. It has to be.
You know what? Like this is my first time. I'm gonna do 3. Like
Do it.
I just
Do
want
it.
to like Like, 'cause I know you're gonna fuck with me, and that's fine. Like, it's like I will persevere through this.
Good.
You and I spoke a little bit about this character and the sort of situation that the audience will learn about shortly.
Like rage
Do you think I would be
level.
at a 2 or a 3 currently? I mean, things have been rough.
Yeah.
Kind of dark place.
Yeah, I would say your heartlessness has become a tool for you.
Yeah.
It depends kind of on whether or not you as a character agree with that. Like if you've been trying to work back to become more person, then maybe it's a 2 at this point. If heartlessness is still like, nope, we're here, I'm still making it happen, we're still surviving, we're digging out, then whatever state the town is in after the hard winter, like it could be a 2, it could be a 3.
Are there opportunities during the game for it to go up or down?
It's a great question. So the way that the rules state is that each session you can adjust it. Yeah.
So within this session, probably not. It
Right.
must be like maybe halfway at the break or something.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I'd say we can
Okay.
we can touch base at that point and be like, are we at an inflection point where it's reasonable for you to change? And the answer is going to be like, sure, yeah, you want to do it, go for it.
Okay, let me think on that for a second.
Sure, yeah.
2 or 3.
So,
What did we just decide mine was? Impulsiveness, right?
yep.
I don't know how bad that should be.
So, how many things do you want to appeal to you that you should probably reject? That's a way to think of it. Like where
I'm gonna go middling because I'm like thinking like every time she fucks a shipment up, more time gets added to her working off a debt.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like really wants to fuck shit up sometimes, but we wrestle with like how much how much more time do I have?
Life,
Yeah.
man.
I don't want to work for this company forever.
Hate this job.
I think we'll
Damn
go
it.
with 2.
2 it is. Done. Gabriel?
I want to go 3, but I also played Mothership with you, and I know how that's going to get.
Yeah.
Like, see, you have experience. I have never experienced like
So
what his level of I'm going to fuck with.
It
you
is-
is.
it's-
Your devil is going to be easier to deal with his level of fuckery than mine
Yeah,
is. Mine is going to make it very unpleasant for me if I go all in on it.
Possibly. I will. So when we did our test game,
Allegedly.
Pretty much.
when we did our test game, our friend Tony, he played somebody with a criminal past, kind of like yours, Sarah, and also a war vet. And he chose for his devil something I thought was really interesting, which was haunted. Haunted by the deeds and the dead. Yeah, it was great. So there was a circumstance that where they were out in the woods and they were trying to be sneaky, and he caught eye of something, and because his devil was 3, that something didn't actually exist, but he had an entire moment there, like an entire thing where he was like, he was actively haunted because of the things that he was in his past and the things that he was experiencing in the moment. So like, it's that kind of level of, you be careful because the devil is powerful.
I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go in on it. I think to your point of like, do I think this is do I agree with it? I think that I do.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's you survived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm still sticking down the middle. I think it's
Yeah.
an internal struggle of do I ruin this or do I get more time?
Yeah. And the way that the book addresses the devil specifically, it's really, I like the way that they put it. It's your character's struggle is ultimately, do you shoot or give up the gun? That's what your devil is. It's like, do you dive into it and it becomes you, or are you fighting successfully against it and redeem yourself? Like, redemption is a big through line in the way that the book is written and the way that Western stories are honestly told. You're like, okay, cool. This person had a horrible past. They were a monster and they've been trying to become a better person. Like,
I haven't been trying that hard.
not.
I'm like,
Had to, so you've kind of been successful at it, I guess. Okay, but it's still there. Yeah. So it's it really dives well into the Western theme, in my opinion, at least. And I think that these are fun devils, and they're going to be interesting to play.
Cool.
All right. So there are a couple of other sort of gameplay related things. The game is played with cards and poker chips. You gain poker chips when you're in a conflict by playing against your traits and against your devil. So if you are like, I think that I'm actually going to try to calm myself down, Pat Nasty, for you, in your rage, you're like, I don't want to use my rage here. I think it's going to be a hindrance to whatever I'm trying to deal with in the moment. You're like, okay, cool. Here's a poker chip. Or if you're like, I really think that my rage needs to come out. Here are 3 cards. So, yeah. Since this game we discovered when we were playing more of it is kind of like, it's really good for a long haul play, like a mini campaign, a mini series. But since we're doing a one shot, I'm just going to start you out with 2 poker chips apiece. If you can hand those to Sarah.
Oh, I don't get to do my disruptive reach across the table again.
Can you move those to the center of the table? So I'm going to start you out with those, and then when we start the actual play, we're going to do kind of a story blitz where you each have a bit of a real quick catch up of what your recent history is, and a couple of major choices that you made. But just keep in mind, and those in front of you, those little A-frame cards, those are little quick sheets on how you get chips, what you use to spend them on, and and harm and poker hands, that's going to be a thing. And it also has a reminder in nice bold lettering, go big, ride hard, deal with the devil later. Because that's what a Western's all about.
I see.
Yes, it's on one side. It's not a bull. Okay, so my friends, I think that we have our characters.
All right.
Yeah, we'll introduce everybody in the first episode of the actual play, and by then we'll probably have names.
Sweet.
All right, excellent. We'll see you there. Yeah, like and subscribe.